Greetings and welcome, everyone. It's All You Can Geek Gamescast, episode 365. I'm one of your hosts, Jim Gast, joined by Mike Sneedy.
What's up?
Corey Feinsod with jazz hands, and Tony Korkanakis.
Yosh!
What was with the hands?
It's waving.
What, both? You're doing like jazz hands.
So?
Okay. All right.
Do whatever I can to distract you, Jim.
Welcome,
Back off!
Welcome, listeners and viewers, to episode 365, post New York Comic Con. If you haven't listened to the movie cast, you want to tune into that episode. We did like part one of like Comic Con breakdown. Talked a lot about Star Wars and that. No spoilers, so don't worry. So tune into that. We're going to continue our New York Comic Con conversation in this podcast. But first, I wanted to mention a little bit in the gaming news. Not much going on this week, but I do have Blizzard hiring for a new Overwatch game.
Overwatch 2.
Maybe.
I think it's probably going to be something other than first-person team squad
I
shooter.
imagine it's going to be a mobile game.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, mobile game. I think that might be okay. I thought maybe something like more like StarCraft based or something like that. I thought maybe an actual console game, like something console version of that. An RTS or I don't know. I thought maybe I went somewhere different. Different style game. I'm not thinking first person shooter, but something with the Overwatch branding. Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
I imagine it's going to be some type of Castle Crasher type.
Yeah.
Castle
or
Crasher.
Not Castle Crasher.
Clash Royale.
Yeah, whatever. One of those. Whatever that is currently popular.
Oh, like the farming, whatever.
Yeah. Because I think
Mobile
the universe
Strike.
I think the universe kind of lends itself well to that kind of thing if you think about it, like with the different heroes and stuff like that. Like I even saw a damn commercial for a Game of Thrones version of that. Like,
well,
dude, there's a freaking Final Fantasy one. Final Fantasy 15 one.
Yeah, I know, but I kind of expect that because it's from a Japanese developer. I don't expect it from fucking Game of Thrones. Like, let's be real.
I could see like a mobile RTS. Like I was telling you guys about the freaking Iron Marines. That game is awesome. I could see an Overwatch skin on that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
because it's all about the hero, and then like you have your little squads around you to help with your hero.
Yeah, I can see that too.
Cool. All right, we did have a conversation to have during this before we get into the Comic-Con panel and what we've been up to. So I actually wanted to get into that real quick. News-wise, we don't have, like I said, much else going on except for this in-game content like loot box purchasing going on, because now Forza 7 has this massively, and it's actually hurt its review scores. It's like pretty blatantly in there right now, and they're not charging money for it.
Well, I mean, there's a big story too with NBA 2K18
and NBA 2K as well. I'm leading off of Forza because that's the freshest one in my mind. And Forza is like tiered and not behind paywall yet for like progress, but apparently it's like very slowly.
Well, they changed everything.
Yeah,
it used to be so much easier because you could choose to get more credits, whatever they call them, by changing the difficulty. Like, I'm going to turn off the rewinds, I'm going to turn off steer assist, or whatever. And you can change that and get more credit. Now that doesn't matter.
No, it's all done through these credits that you have to earn, or modifier cards that you have to earn or purchase, which is not implemented yet, but will be soon. So it's all behind this. Like, it's going to be soon to be paywall.
Progress being like basically you are doing the whole mobile thing where like, okay, plant this little seed, you can pay 50 cents to watch it grow immedially or wait 2 hours for it to happen.
It's also like one-time use random cards. It's like very much like Overwatch's loot boxes, very much, but it's like paid, like straight paid in the game, like used up.
Like whereas Overwatch, you get the full content of the game, and you just look different. Where this is, walling you off of the game content.
Yeah. So that's like the offender for me, but like this is coming up now in let's see, Shadows of War. I'm sorry, Shadows of War. I always do that. I was reading reviews on that game today. People really like that game quite a bit, but then they also really hate the loot box system that's in that game. They say it actually takes down from that game.
I mean, it takes down from all games that kind of shoehorn it in.
Like NBA.
What's the point of having? When you think of Shadow of War, do you think loot boxes?
No, I can't even think of like how they would be implemented.
Like, it doesn't make sense, and I can understand, you want to have that random RNG stuff, and like that's what people love about Diablo and things like that, like killing monster and RNG, like, oh, you get an item or something. But now you're making it where that's gonna cost you extra money, so you're paying money to, pay more money.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, this was announced.
To experience the full entire game. This
game was announced a while ago from Shadows of War.
Now again, like a lot of the stuff you can eventually get, it's just they make it.
Before we get to the latest offender that we're going to talk about, but I wanted to mention NBA 2K. We talked about it earlier, where the meeting, like, you need 200 hours of play to get a guy up to like a very good rating.
Yeah, like an 85 or something.
That's fucking ridiculous.
Yeah. So that's in that game, and that if you could buy it instead, and then that's the clear-cut way to do it, because who's going to play 200 hours to get their character from 76 to 86?
You don't even start at 76.
Whatever. I'm just going from that. Yeah, it's worse than that. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
That's 200 hours. That was the calculation put out there. And now we have the latest offender, which is not out yet, but coming out soon. Battlefront. It's the biggest one that we've just heard about. And I was thinking about this game. Now, Tony, you, before we started this podcast, told me you're specifically not going to get this game now because of this.
Nope. No. So, the way they're doing it is just so scummy, too.
What are they doing on this?
Trying to find
I knew they had to get us back for doing the DLC altogether.
Right. I mean, DLC is free, but content in-game is not anymore.
But see, I'm okay with, what Titanfall did with the system and giving you free content. Like, I'm okay with this idea,
Well, of course you are, Jim. Who's not okay with getting free content?
Yeah, you get a couple of people, but it should
the problem is
there's a balance.
I'm actually...
What?
I'm okay with the Injustice 2, the way they did it. You can earn at a decent rate most things, specific cosmetic things. Not that counts towards anything, but cosmetic things that you can only pay for. But you can also get the same currency that you pay for.
See, that's the thing. And Mike, I'm sorry, I'm cutting you off because you're breaking up a little bit. But if you're getting loot boxes and you're paying money for things that are cosmetic or that do not impact the game play whatsoever, then I have no problem with that. Overwatch, they want to, you want to pay as much money you want to get different skins. That's fine. And what's funny is a lot of the skins actually make it harder for you because they either make you glow more or make you more visible in the game. So it's like, well, it's obvious that it actually makes it tougher for you instead of easier.
Well, they're doing that in Destiny 2, right? Like most of it's just emotes and stuff.
The cosmetics are the things you do the silver for, right?
All the main thing is as long as the game is going to make you pay for something, it does not affect the way that you can play the game. That's fine.
Yeah,
I'm okay with that.
If it's like a color preference and stuff, palette and stuff,
right.
That's fine. Yeah.
But if it's freaking weapons or cars or skills to help me get better or whatever, that's where it crosses the line, because now you're saying buy our game that's not complete for a full complete game, and then now you have to pay extra for that game to actually have a complete game.
Yeah, do we have...
What makes it even worse, though, for something like Battlefront, it is primarily an online multiplayer game where you're competing against people.
That's what I'm wondering. What are these? Did you find out what was in these?
Yeah, so this is from the Eurogamer article entitled "Star Wars Battlefront 2 has a loot gate problem." So I'll just summarize it basically. Where they state, the only way to get new abilities and weapons in Battlefront 2 is from opening loot crates, but either with in-game currency or real-world currency, price to be determined. Either you randomly receive the ability or weapon directly from the loot crate, or you randomly receive an amount of scrap to go towards eventually crafting it, although scrap costs are high and amounts received tortuously low. Star card abilities in Battlefront 2 changed not only how regular assault, heavy, officer, and specialist soldier classes play, as well as the interceptor, bomber, and fighter spaceship classes. They also change how Battle Point unlocked power-up characters play, all the way up to the iconic heroes and villains of Star Wars lore. Your options are getting lucky when opening a combination of daily loot crates, gifted loot crates, and earned loot crates for leveling up, or when opening loot crates bought with in-game currency. But as in-game currency is awarded at a flat rate for a team, regardless of performance, this could take a long time. It gets worse when you consider there are bronze, silver, gold versions of each star card, plus a fourth tier I'm not sure the name of. For instance, Boba Fett has a star card ability called Death from Above, which grants him damage reduction while jetpacking and using his ability Rocket Barrage. Its lowest tier damage reduction, bronze, is 50%, while its highest tier is 100% damage reduction. That's a huge difference. So not only are you after the full collection of star cards, you're after the best versions of them. And again, you can individually upgrade them by spending scrap, but you're given too little and too randomly to make this reliably viable. So
it's pay or don't be as good as everybody else.
Yep, pretty much.
Yeah, that's pretty bad.
That is really bad. I was looking at video for this game today. Like, I'm very much interested in this game with a campaign. I was gonna get that. Like, I love the canon story we're gonna get with this game. Like, very much so.
Here's the question now: with this, something like this happens, would you prefer if all the DLC was separate and paid, like the last one was, while these upgrades were more traditional, like XP type upgrades, or would you prefer it like this, where it would be like that, but you have the big ecosystem with everybody with all the DLC coming out over time?
Neither.
Well, you got to choose one because, like you said,
I choose not to buy the game.
Like you said, these AAA games aren't sustainable with the flat $60 and nothing else.
That's what I've been saying for years.
Oh, yeah, but that's why this stuff happens.
$79.99 a game.
Well, we could do that too, but no one's going to accept that because.
And it's not going to change what's happening right now.
It's not going to change because now the publishers have gotten a taste of that loot crate money.
And yeah, it's probably going to be a little more for them than just like $20 extra too, in the long run.
Yeah. Yep. It's a balance. I mean, you want to put it like there's the whales out there they talk about, and those are great, but you're affecting the gameplay for the mass majority of gamers, and that's the problem.
See, it's games like Titanfall 2 or even Overwatch. I'm not saying Overwatch is perfect, but I'll use it as the most probably popular comparison we can do. I mean, the loot crate, the stuff you get in loot crates is completely cosmetic. There's absolutely no reason that you need anything from those loot crates. It's really just random. I mean, I've never paid for a single loot crate in that game, and I'm more than okay. I have tons of money on both PC and PlayStation 4 that I can buy legendary skins if I wanted to, multiple ones. So I've never felt compelled to do any of that. I buy the skins and stuff emotes that I like, and everything else I'm just like, all right, well, if I get it, I get it, and if not, oh well, that's fine.
I mean, yeah, I agree, and that Overwatch is like really good about that. The two games like that I'm playing right now have been considered more aggressive with their practices like that, which is Destiny 2 and Injustice 2. But I still think they're more of a balance that works for everyone. There is some aspects that are a little iffy, especially the characters in Injustice, but that's in every fighting game now.
Doesn't like the characters in Injustice doesn't actually modify the performance?
What?
Like if you buy
you can't buy gear.
Oh,
you can't
okay.
buy
I thought
gear.
You could buy gear. Okay. So what is it? What do you get in Injustice?
The only things that you can buy in Injustice are source crystals, which will allow you to either change the look of certain gear to make it match something you want it to look like.
Transmog.
You can buy shaders, which is just colors, or you could buy characters you don't have if you don't have a pack.
Yeah.
So characters are like the biggest thing that you can like buy with like, you know, the currency that translates to money in that. And with Destiny 2 you have like the
shaders.
Wait, you have to buy characters in Injustice?
The silvers. Yeah.
You can, like the DLC characters, you have, like Sub-Zero, Raiden, and Black Manta, and Starfire, Red Hood. Those are DLC characters.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I paid $80, so I have the pack.
Yeah. Unless you get the season pass, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, it's a slippery slope. Again. I mean,
we talked about that before, but it's interesting because it's not going anywhere, and the people that are complaining are still people that are putting money into it. Yeah. They're not making it. They're not changing it. So
it really can't when you think about how video games haven't avoided inflation for like the last 20, 30 years. They've always been around $50 to $60, but that's not. You can't really blame these companies because they're not going to make money selling games that way indefinitely.
Yeah.
That's what I've been saying. Yeah. I've been saying it, and it finally happened.
Well, it's been happening for 10 years, but now we're doing it a lot more.
Yeah,
well, I mean, they've introduced DLC and stuff, but I'm saying they needed to drastically change the monetization platform, just like the puzzle. They needed to change it because even DLC, it doesn't keep people engaged long enough. It's oh great, game like I'll even take like Horizon or Zelda, where it's like the DLC is coming months later. Like those are the most popular games on the respective platforms. They can get away with it. But I mean, if you're some like, B tier AAA game, like I don't know,
or even Titanfall too, like that,
even Titanfall
4-player DLC drop and kind of came and went.
Yeah, it came and went. So it's just like you need to keep your players engaged for longer periods of time, and that's why we saw such an influx in multiplayer, even in genres that like probably didn't need it, like Uncharted or Batman.
Tomb Raider.
Yeah, exactly. Just like
I like that multiplayer. I just wish it wasn't so half-baked. Maybe it'll be back in the next one whenever that comes.
I would say the Last of Us seemed like the worst game to have multiplayer, but that multiplayer was fantastic. It was really well.
I just couldn't get into that, but I heard it was
so funny because I didn't really like Uncharted's multiplayer, but Last of Us multiplayer was really fun.
But I mean, this is the way that they're artificially getting a price hike out of people because rather than get let's say a game sold 1 million copies. I mean, how many people are actually going to buy a $20 DLC? Maybe, 10%? 15%?
Yeah.
I mean, that's peanuts.
No,
when you sell a game for $60 or $40, whatever, and you support it with DLC, I mean, you're going to have tons of people that are paying more money.
The thing is, like, they should have been raising these prices of games slowly over time.
Along with everything else.
And that's not going to matter.
I don't think that would have done anything to combat it.
No,
I don't think a single thing, because I mean, if you think about it,
once mobile hit, dude, that changed everything.
Yeah, mobile changed the game, and if you think about it, I mean, they've really been doing that secretly anyway. I mean, not so subtly with all the collector's editions. Like, almost every game has a collector's or deluxe or whatever edition where it comes with a season pass. We saw that with Fallout 4. I'm pretty sure Metal Gear Solid had it. Final Fantasy 15 had it. I mean, they get more money out of you up front anyway. So, again, for content that you don't even know what it's going to include. So it's like, I'll just pay you $80 out of the gate. That's pretty much an $20 price hike, that you're just like, yep, I will give you money today for content in the future that I don't even know what you're going to give me. It's like, okay. So, I mean.
But again, we paid for what would be equivalent to $100 games that were like 2 hours 20, 30 years ago. So.
Yeah. No, and the thing is, I don't necessarily blame the publishers. I don't blame the developers because costs are increasing just because it was an arms race for all these different things. I mean, really, if you're a B-tier studio, like how can you compete with the people that are making Call of Duty or Grand Theft Auto? I mean, you can't. I mean, they just offer so much more value.
Plus, half of those teams get disbanded and moved into other teams anyway.
Yep, exactly. So, loot crates.
Just gotta make Rocket League. That's all.
Well, I mean, even Rocket League moved to a loot crate system.
I mean, no, it's always had it. Most people got the game for free though, and you're willing to pay for the DeLorean here or there because of that.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, loot crates are probably here to stay for the foreseeable future until something else better comes along.
Plus, it really feeds on the whole human nature of like that dopamine drip.
Again,
all the sound effects and the whole thing. It's all designed for
gambling.
I would like to say that Overwatch has probably done very well with their loot boxes. In terms of
and that's the thing
money.
is we're gonna and because it's such a new thing. I mean, we're gonna see.
I think the biggest difference I think with Overwatch is the characters, and like the characters are iconic, and the way that they present those characters is a lot.
No. Characters are iconic to whoever's playing. So like,
not really. Like
I'm saying, like Uncharted had different costumes for Nathan Drake. If you're an Uncharted fan, you're probably buying a lot of those like crazy. I'm saying that cosmetic changes to a game across the board.
If you look at Nathan Drake and you show somebody a Nathan Drake person, like who is this guy? Like what stands out about him? I'm trying to tell
you that you show them like Overwatch characters, they don't know. They'll be like, who are these guys? This is the same idea. You just know Overwatch characters.
No, I disagree.
You're saying that they are more appealing to buy costumes for than
absolutely.
No, I disagree with you. I disagree with you.
I think only because the costumes are so drastically different. Maybe I would say that.
It's character design. It's how colorful they are. It's how unique.
You have
that's
generic
what I mean.
white-looking
totally
dude versus
put like Nathan Drake and Tomb Raider Lara Croft and what's her face from Horizon. Like put those three people in a row and it's like okay, bow wielding adventurers. Then you put like these characters from Overwatch. Like whoa, these are cartoony, fun. That you're very unique.
I would draw the line with Aloy. I think she has a pretty distinctive look, actually.
Maybe, but I'm just saying, the characters are huge.
I'm saying that it can be implemented quite easily in other games the same way.
No, I doubt that. That's why do you think it's being so popular? Like, that's why.
Uncharted
I mean, that's why.
could not get away with doing what Overwatch does with skins. It couldn't.
No way.
I think
they could do it. I don't think it'd do it well.
I think they do it a little bit in their multiplayer.
I'm not saying they don't do it. I'm saying they don't do it well.
Donut Drake in multiplayer, which is a big fat version of Drake.
It's all about fun too. Like you gotta have fun with it. And, like that stuff is just not as fun looking to look at. Like you got freaking Cthulhu. Fun. Did you see the Cthulhu Zenyatta? That guy looks awesome. Oh my god.
Experience nothingness. Like
there is a little bit of up your alleyness going on from Corey, but I see what you mean.
Yeah.
Well, I completely disagree with that. It could be done with anything. It's not. There's no way. Because if it could, then Overwatch wouldn't be standing out. It's correct.
I mean, it's just the one we know very well. I'm just saying, like, I could see it. Like, Destiny 2 can do this right now with skins and shaders.
All right, I'll name League of Legends. Same thing.
And they are. I mean, they all are doing it though. Like,
well, games that are designed specifically with it in mind. Like, you can't take Horizon, you can't take Uncharted, you can't take Tomb Raider and do the same thing. It's not the same audience. It's not the same design.
They couldn't give your character different accessories from a loot box and like
sure.
Have,
no.
I'm not saying that people can't do that and not make money.
They did it with Arkham.
It's not going to happen. It's just saying
that skin packs with Arkham.
Sure, and I would say Arkham is an exception because that's based on comic books. Yeah. Like,
we're not saying that that's not happening or going to happen. We're just saying that the reason it's so popular and been so successful is because of how iconic the characters are. You know,
iconic is probably the wrong word to use, but I know what you mean.
I mean,
easily identifiable.
They lend better for the skins, I guess. Yeah, I can see
they're
that.
sort of unique, and again, the skins change a very big portion of their look. It's not just color swaps. They like have different stuff they're carrying.
Yeah, they put a lot of effort in and make it look.
Yeah, they're totally different. It's not just a different color. It's not just a different shirt. That's where I think it matters the most. Really, like it just changes the whole look, and even sometimes sound effects or other stuff is different too. So. That's where
look at the Police Diva. Like people were going crazy for that, and
I mean, you look at the new Halloween skins. I mean, Symmetra has this new dragon skin that has, and McCree has a what was his skin? It looks like what's his skin like? I forget. Somebody look it up. But the internet is just like thirsty for both of them right now. It's just like all this like on Reddit and like all these other forums, just like. You know, people fanning themselves like that Zenyatta skin. Just like not only do they change his appearance, he looks like Cthulhu and stuff, but they change his voice lines where it's like, you know, instead of like what is it? He says like experience tranquility. He goes like experience nothing and nothingness or something like that.
Experience nothingness.
Yeah, it's crazy. So just adds to the flavor of these characters. Like even last year with like Witch Mercy. Oh my goodness, like just when she says something like, my minions never die, just a small tweak like that, and it just changes the entire like persona of a character, and that's what people enjoy. Part of what people enjoy about these games is just they identify with these characters, which is what I've said from the beginning, and they stand for more than what they are in the game. So it's easy. Right. I'm sorry, you just can't do it with Nathan Drake and put him in like a fucking Sackboy costume. It's just nobody gives a shit.
Okay.
Not as many. Again, there is Donut Drake and Tuxedo Drake and like old Vacation Sully and stuff like that in the actual game. So it's there.
It's there. I'm not saying it doesn't happen. I'm just saying it's not like there's a big audience of people that are like, yeah, I'm going to throw money at this game because I want to see Nathan Drake in a Solid Snake costume.
I guess you're right. It blends more for like the competitive aspect of Overwatch. Like you want to have like your character more customized because you're using them constantly in battle and unlike Nathan Drake, where it's a story-based game, I can see it. The multiplayer might be fun, Mike, but it's not the main part of that game.
Well, it is right now.
Yeah, but... All right, let's get into Comic-Con. Comic-Con Part 2 of our conversations. So day 2 of the con, we talked about day 1 over there, how great it was, like empty floor. We talked about.
So if you haven't listened to our movie cast this week.
We talked about a shitty hotel. We talked about day 1. We also talked about day 1 party. I think we talked about day 3's party and how crazy it was.
We probably need to mention what we saw, though, on day 0 at Barcade.
Oh, yeah. Day 0.
Oh, that's right.
You guys played the worst game ever.
So we decided
willingly paid money to play the worst game ever.
We had to. We had to.
There.
So
is this ET?
Again, I apologize to this. I apologize to Corey every time we mention this game. I said this to Mike the other day. Every time this game comes up, I have to apologize to Corey for buying this game for him back in 1994.
Oh, that's the worst game ever? My Sega Saturn?
Yeah.
My one game I had?
Yeah, so we went to Barcade, which was 10 blocks down. We wanted to hang out, and it was great to go down there on Wednesday night. It was emptier. We got our drinks. Didn't have a great tap list, but it was, that one apparently doesn't have a great tap list. Now that I know that. I got filled in.
The Brooklyn one's pretty good.
That's what everybody says, but this one's not the Brooklyn one. This one's, down over there in just below Times Square. So it wasn't bad. But they had pretty good games. They had the Turtles arcade. They had X-Men arcade, which was like an 8-player X-Men arcade, wasn't it?
No, it was the 6. I think the full 6 one with the 2 screens. Yeah.
Yeah, and then we had Mike and I decided to play Street Fighter, the game, the movie, whatever you call the game.
The movie,
Street Fighter, the movie,
the game. Yes.
Yeah.
So we had to play that, and it was horrible. Like it was absolutely worse than I remember. So it was worse than I remember.
That's funny that it's actually in the arcade.
Mike beat me in that game. Yeah, you did.
I don't even remember.
So, and
I got to play the Wreck-It Ralph game. That was pretty cool.
Fix-It Felix?
Fix-It Felix.
I played the Star Wars game, which was ungodly challenging. It was ridiculous.
It's so hard.
Yeah.
It's so hard.
Quarter-eating machine, you can tell that. Like, that's why it was designed. So there was a lot of cool games to play. We had a lot of fun hanging out there. We played this great Pac-Man multiplayer game. I gotta say, that was really fun.
That's actually in most modern arcades now, that game. I saw it in a couple other places.
Dave & Buster's.
And like Wildwood and stuff. Yeah, I'm sure it's in Dave & Buster's too.
A 4-player competitive Pac-Man.
I think that's available on like Xbox Live and PS4. I think it's either in like,
this is like Battle Royale or something.
Yeah, Battle Royale.
It's a great game. So
it's fun.
Love that.
I loved it too because they had like a custom tabletop for it, where like it had like the beer holder, so you didn't have to worry about where your
drink was going. Because they kept yelling at me when I put my drink on the games.
Well, obviously you don't fucking do that, Jim.
I was fine where I put it. It was on a coaster.
A coaster? I don't even know where that coaster came from.
Don't worry, I put this on a coaster, man. Yeah.
That game was already... Stuff was spilled all over that game already. That was the X-Men game. But, so it was a good game.
That's like you saying the girl going in the bathroom and it's already shit on the floor. Might as well just put more of it.
Yeah. So, we had day 2 at the convention, which was Friday. Yes, Friday. And that was more like the old Saturdays. It was like pretty busy, but it wasn't overly crowded. We got to see our one panel that day. That was the Hulu Runaways. Tony, you called it an early day on that one, right? You were back early? Fell asleep?
Yeah.
Getting ready for the evening party event, which was great. That was a great party, that one, which we'll get into. But on the floor, I mean, you guys want to talk about the show floor at all while we're in there?
So the biggest change this year, I felt, so there was a couple of things that made it feel busier, like overall, even Thursdays. So one of the big changes was Repop did away with the weekend and multi-day passes, because originally you could get like the 3-day, which is Friday, Saturday, Sunday, 4-day, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. They got rid of those banners. So, right off the bat, it's more expensive if you want to go for those 3 or 4 days.
You have to pick your days.
40, so there's that. But the other thing is and the reason they changed it is because they found out through all the RFID scanning and whatnot, like, hey, look, people who are buying multi-day badges aren't using it for, 1 or more days that they actually bought for. Like, I bought a weekend badge, but I'm only using it on Saturdays. Well, it's like, well, fuck, that person bought a badge that could have been used for all 3 days, but they didn't use Friday and Saturday, or Friday and Sunday. So it's like, that's wasted space and therefore a missed opportunity for purchases and merchandise and whatnot. So they're like, well, fuck this, let's get rid of that. We'll just sell individual day passes. That way we can definitely control, and that way, I mean, the majority of passes that were probably bought, people showed up for. I mean, I'm sure there's a certain percentage that either people couldn't go or got scalped and failed to sell, but there was a high percentage of just population everywhere. The other thing that added to congestion was they got rid of the secondary building, which is where the artist alley usually was held.
That was a big problem this year.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and that, I love the artist alley just because it was such a big location for just all the artist stuff. Not to mention it was separated, so you could go there and acted as like kind of like a, I don't know, a channel for other people to like get away from the main convention center and take a lot of traffic away from there. Not to mention the bathrooms and stuff there were less busy than the main floor. So they took all those artists and stuffed them into the bottom floor where all the VR stuff was last year, which is roughly half the space size. So you take all those artists and stuff, put them in a room half the size, and just good luck, have fun.
And the ceiling's so much lower.
Yeah, the ceiling's so much lower. The ventilation,
less air.
Yeah, well, it was really like just gross, the humidity wise and stuff there.
Yeah, actually, the main floor was surprisingly well air conditioned. I actually commented on it more than once. I think.
Well, you found an empty booth. You were freezing your ass off in that booth. It was that cold.
Yep.
Yeah,
but not down there in the artist alley. It was notably different down there.
I will say right now, giving ReedPop a little bit more credit here, because they 100% fixed their line issues from last year. 100% fixed it. No issues. Walked right into the building every day.
To enter the main.
Yep.
Yeah.
So what they did for the line this year, or the morning, was okay. So before even that, they have two main entrances now. On the east and west, as well as having a separate entrance for VIP and guests and staff and all that stuff, or exhibitors. So that helped a lot. Not to mention there were people on several blocks directing traffic, be like, you need to go down this way if you have this badge and stuff like that. But then,
And they were yelling at you almost there. They were behind me yelling at me when I tried to cross the street where we had to go anyways. And
you shouldn't have listened.
He's like, stay on the sidewalk. And I'm like, what?
Shouldn't have listened. Shouldn't have listened. But anyway, the nice thing was, you went into the area, you went through the metal detector bag check, and then you got right into the convention center, but they followed you into the queue hall. So either you could queue to go to the exhibit floor, kind of like PAX East does. If you guys have ever been to PAX East or heard us talk about PAX East, there's just a couple shoot lines where just like, hey, you immediately just want to go into the expo hall floor. And then they had all the shoots for like the major panels that day. So like, typically the Netflix stuff or the Voltron or the Marvel's Runaways, stuff like that. So before the convention floor even opened up at 10, you could be waiting in line for your shoot badge like scan at 9 a.m.
Well, we got down there at 8:30 in the morning one day, and it was open, ready to go.
Yep. Some of that tomfoolery, like last year, it was like, line around the fucking Javits Center and just walk your ass off for no fucking reason.
Well, they used to not open the doors and let people go into the queue hall. That's ridiculous. Like, they should have been doing this years ago. Like, put everybody in the basement. Doesn't affect anything. Nothing gets affected that way.
Well, they finally figured it out. So, hats off to ReedPop. They definitely took the feedback from last year and implemented a great system, and I hope they continue to improve upon it even more. So.
It's only getting bigger.
It's only getting bigger.
Yeah, they're going to add that building. They're redesigning that building.
I pray to God they need that second building so bad.
They're expanding the main expo hall is getting bigger. Like, they're adding a whole section.
I mean, just hearing from you guys already from our first podcast and how, like, there's a bunch of stuff that was moved off-site already. It's like,
There's more this year. They seem to have more off-site than normal, which is getting more like San Diego. San Diego Comic-Con apparently is like that very much.
It's all
fragmented. Who was it Conroy who complained about that?
Yeah.
He's like, San Diego is all corporate.
Yeah.
Like, all right.
He's like, you gotta go all over the place. He's like, I'm not making fun of San Diego at all, but he's like, at least they're still a little more personable here.
Yeah. It's where the money is.
So the hall though was crazy in certain points, open in other points. It was like you knew where you can go to get a breather at least. Usually over by the comic books, believe it or not, Comic-Con is emptier than the other parts of the convention hall. So you would go.
Comic-Con is really just that in name. I mean,
I know. They had a lot of cool. They didn't have. You know what? This year, I felt like the toy collections this year, exclusives, were not as big.
No, absolutely not.
They didn't have as many exclusive cool things. So I don't know, but
did you guys pick up anything exclusive?
I won a free Found Me, which is a key finder digital thing that like Bluetooth syncs with your phone and like you can track it like GPS. It's got a GPS built into it too, so it's like you lose your keys, you can find them pretty much anywhere. I won that by scanning my badge.
I can't believe you won that.
I don't, and I just made the comment to Mike, nobody ever wins these damn things. So I went up, this woman scanned 6 badges in front of me. She's wearing 6 badges, and she scanned them all. None of them won. And I'm like, so I scanned mine, and boop, I'm a winner. And the guy's like, he did like a double take. He's like, wait, you won? And I'm like, yeah, I won. And the girl wasn't even paying attention. The running the booth, the girl wasn't paying attention at all. And the guy's like, he won. He won. And I'm like, I won. So they were shocked themselves that run the booth. So it was cool, though. I got a little key finder thing, Incredible Hulk key finder, which I can put in my wallet, I guess, if I lose my wallet. I don't know. But it'd be a little surprise if somebody steals my wallet. At least we can track them.
Yeah. Trying to think. The other nice thing was they had food trucks again. So in addition to the food court, they had a bigger selection of food trucks just to disperse the, people trying to get food. I don't know how much it really helped because even the food trucks had big lines.
Well, they need to add that center needs to add more seating areas. They really need to add more seating areas. Like
we spent a surprising amount of time walking.
And not just for food, but
find
just
somewhere
resting,
to not walk anymore.
Like, I'm thinking a seating area, like we see at like PAX, where you have resting, you can have cosplay stuff, board games, just stuff where you can hang out and just relax over there. They need that in that convention hall.
Yeah, because that's the thing is I only cosplayed one day on Friday, but it was just way too packed and it wasn't enjoyable because like the thing is when people want to like take pictures or talk to you and stuff like that, like you're just in the way. You feel like you're in the way the whole time. The one area that people seem to congregate to was like the outside area in between the two entrances because like it was nice because they had the overhead pass, so like it was in the shade. A lot of photographers were set up there, but unfortunately it was where the food trucks were too. And it was until like Saturday where they finally realized like, oh, maybe the line should go like perpendicular to the entrance because it's just running constantly into people that are trying to take photo shoots and stuff. So that was a cool section. I think they could utilize that space. It obviously helped. It was like 75 degrees out all weekend long.
Yeah, it was nice. I mean, it was getting hot. It was
actually a little hotter than.
Yeah.
I was gonna say like when Saturday was kind of yucky out.
It wasn't that yucky there. I don't remember being that humid.
No. It was always just kind of hot, really.
But not humid. Not really humid. It wasn't as bad as when we got back. The humidity here sucked. But so. It was good. Day 2's party was at the Bolermo. That's it.
Oh, hold on. Before we get to that, we got to talk about some of the games we played.
Oh, games we played. Sorry. So Tony and I got to play Dragon Ball Fighter Z, which he rolled me in. But it was fun.
What is that?
Game looks.
I wouldn't say roll. But...
No. Game was fluid and amazing. I chose like grapple type apparently, and I didn't know that, but I'm not very good at grapples.
That'll do it.
Yeah. When you're not ready to have any idea what their moves were, I had Android 16, Krillin, who's apparently grapple type, and I forget who else I picked as my. Vegeta was my actual other one, who lasted the most time because he's obviously not grapple. It was cool though, very quick and fluid. It looks great. I can't believe it's coming out so far away still, like 2018.
Yeah.
They're really going to polish the hell out of
it. Yeah, it looks pretty done to me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure they got a lot of characters that they're probably implementing.
It could be that.
Yeah.
Did they get to see the Android 21?
No, she was not played. I would have definitely played her. It was an early build. Probably like E3, I want to say.
Yeah.
They want stability there.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I think I picked Goku, Gohan, and Frieza. Yeah, Frieza. I don't even think I got the Frieza.
No.
I couldn't figure out how to switch. Like,
he's a great assist. Yeah, I couldn't figure out. Assist. Yeah, he had a great assist. But
what console was it?
PlayStation?
Yeah.
Was it PlayStation?
No,
I think
probably.
It was PlayStation. Yeah.
But Mike managed to take footage of that for us. So I'll be uploading that to our website or Facebook or YouTube.
Yeah, YouTube.
So you can definitely check it out. It's a nice 3-minute match or whatever like that. Might be some swearing, I forget, but
I'm pretty sure I was.
It's mature for.
Yeah.
I am for mature.
So we did that. Tony, what else did you play on the floor? Because we were separated quite a bit in this convention.
Yeah, I managed to play Bloodstained, which I didn't know was going to be there, and apparently Igarashi was there. You could actually meet him in the mornings, which unfortunately I didn't get to do. But they had the new, the latest build, I guess, and that was fun. They had a wide variety of weapons.
Was it as floaty as it looked the last time we saw it?
It's a little floaty, not as much. I don't think it was as much.
I felt like it felt a little sparse, just content-wise. I felt like there wasn't a lot there, but it's early. It's still coming out next year, so you could see the concept in it though, and that was cool. It did feel like Castlevania.
Mighty Number 9 soured me on video games.
No.
It has a better feel than Mighty Number 9.
Nowhere near that. Dude, the Mighty Number 9 soured you, not the Yugioh?
The Ouya was what it was. I used it as a Super Nintendo emulator, a Nintendo emulator.
No,
So
I guess
it
it's
was
more
everything
value
that.
than Mighty Number 9.
Yeah, I mean, it was everything it said it was going to be. Plus, like, Towerfall was on there exclusively for a while, and that was just amazing. But my number 9, it's like so dead. It's just so empty and like.
No, this game is nowhere near that.
No, I'm not trying to say that.
I'm a little worried. Just saying,
No,
I'm not
trying to say that at all.
a fan of Kickstarter video games anymore.
It was fun, but it was like a little bit.
I mean, how long has it been?
That's all.
2 years.
I did get to play the boss in that. Tony, did you get that far?
Yep. Beat the demo boss.
Oh, I didn't beat her. She just destroyed me. She tore me apart.
Really?
Yeah, she tore me apart.
Oh, jeez.
So.
Oh man. Yeah. It wasn't like she was.
I didn't try. I just died once, and that was it. I just walked. I was like, okay, I'm good. So yeah. I don't want to play too much of it because I'm getting the game. I backed it. So.
Yeah, exactly.
I just want to make sure it's. I want to make sure that it's progressing better than what the train wreck of Mighty Number 9 was.
Yeah. So. I didn't play it, but we were watching it for a bit. Square Enix had the Secret of Mana remake available on PlayStation.
Really
and you know
nice.
what? In person on a TV, it looks better. It does.
It looks.
I'm not saying like, oh my god, my entire opinion of this game changed. But I was like, you know what? It's better than the stills and stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely did not like the look of it at all. I would much rather have had an Octopath Traveler version.
Yeah, obviously. So I mean. We'll see. I don't know if I'll get it. It depends on the price and what else I have
what
around
else did they have in that booth I played? I played something else there too.
They had Lost
Enix was saying like they like sent me emails like, oh, come visit us and stuff. I got all this shit to show you.
Yeah, they had Lost Sphere. They had Final Fantasy 15 Mobile Edition. They had Final Fantasy 15 Windows Edition.
They had a lot of Final Fantasy 15.
Did they have the Final Fantasy 15 Chibi Edition, whatever that was?
Yeah, the mobile edition.
That's mobile. Okay.
Yeah, it looked weird.
Tony,
they had the Final Fantasy 15 multiplayer version.
I'm thinking next year, Tony, just a side note, and I'm just completely random here thought, but I thought about this year when I was walking past the Yu-Gi-Oh booth. You and I just need to bring our Magic cards next year and just set up in that booth and just start playing Magic.
All right.
Bring a deck, bring two decks with you, and we'll play.
You're going to get beat up, man.
It'll be hilarious.
Players are
I know. It'll
legit.
be hilarious.
Yeah.
I'm like, damn it, the only card section they have in this place is Yu-Gi-Oh.
Yeah.
So.
My one friend said one cool thing they did was that you could take your picture at the Yu-Gi-Oh booth and they would make like a token card of like your picture as the art. I was like, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, I gotta say,
Yu-Gi-Oh.
The next thing that I got to play with Mike was Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite.
Yeah.
We played a couple matches of those actually. I gotta say, very fluid. It plays very nicely actually.
Yeah, I felt Jim wavering as we were playing this game. He's getting closer to buying it.
My dollar amount went up from $20 to $30 purchase of this game. Wow. I will buy it at $30. There's no question.
I can't believe you're as high as 20 on that.
I was just It's actually Corey. It's not.
I played it.
Yeah,
I played the demo.
It's more about it's more about the characters than anything. And the demo, no. This is actually running nice. I think it runs better than the demo because I played that as well. That little beta demo they ran for us. That wasn't the game. That was like a pre-beta build they had out from the conventions, from the GDC I think it was. So we got to play a very early build of that game. The final build that
I
have no problem. I mean, I've heard people say the gameplay is fine. I just don't want to look at it. It's like juggling shit. Like who cares?
It actually didn't look that bad.
No,
I'd rather play 3.
Give
me 3 and that's fine. Give me 3 or 2.
It's the roster of characters that got me, not the look of it even when I was playing it, because it didn't look that bad while there.
Although I'm sure when you play through the story mode, you'll have to deal with those awful-looking cinematics some more.
Sure. But I will say that...
I would probably buy Mass Effect before
I was telling Tony about this game. It's clear that the heart and soul of your favorite characters are there. They're just reskinned. So, like, I found Magneto in Doctor Strange. Accidentally. I picked Doctor Strange at random. But as soon as I jumped in on Mike and he had the little throw up in the air, I'm like, this is Magneto style. Then I was able to combo him quite easily.
Yeah, that was bad. Yeah. I almost beat you the second time around.
Second time I picked,
who were you?
Dormammu and Dante. Two guys that I had no idea what I was getting into, but Dormammu was supposed to be highly rated. Like, people liked him a lot, so I thought I'd give him a try. I didn't like him, but... we played it twice, and then we played Injustice, Mike and I, where he destroyed me in Injustice to make him, trust me, as much as I destroyed him in the first round of MVC Infinite, he destroyed me more in Injustice. So, just give him credit there. What else we play? Anything else, guys? I don't know if I played anything else.
I don't think so. They had Monster Hunter. No one was playing that though.
No,
well, we weren't.
But we saw it. Actually looked okay. It didn't look that bad.
Yeah,
graphically it was nice. A lot better than the preview I saw of it originally.
Is that the one that's coming out next year?
Monster Hunter
January?
Yeah, World.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Bandai had Ni no Kuni 2.
Oh yes, Ni no Kuni 2. That's
the
one I was watching. And I kind of like what they did. I'm so torn on this. I like what they did, but I don't like. I feel like the art style is because it's slightly different than the first game. While it's more fluid, and I love that. I think I like the art in the first game a little more. So, I mean, it looks good, and it also is extremely smooth. I like the art better in the first game. So, that was my impression of that. Anything else on the show floor, guys? No? Good?
No, I think that's it.
Okay, Party 2. Party 2, we're going to talk about the Bowlermo. We had free bowling for the whole night at this one party. It was the Sonic Boombox, right? So we talked about that in the third night party, which was not a great party, but the second night was pretty good at the Bowlermo, where we actually had arcades. They give you a $5 card. It's a $15 cover to get in.
Yeah. The problem was the price for the actual arcades is super inflated there. Yeah. That $5 will cover 2 or 3 games.
But in New York, also the best prices for beer that I had seen, they had craft beer on for $5. It was a can, but it was $5 instead of $7 or $8 that I was paying before. So.
No, yeah, you got the cheap one, yeah.
Not cheap. It was actually very good. It's just, it's very good beer too. So I was very happy with that. I don't know about the mixed drinks, what they were going for there, but
those are expensive as shit. I got one rum and Coke, and it was $10.
I was gonna say that's probably $12.
Food was about what you expected. It kind of was more like a Dave and Buster's kind of thing there. But we had free bowling all night.
And they would deliver to where you were bowling, which was cool.
Yep.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, the bowling part of it, it's not really a priority, I think, for them because all their shoes were sticky. Their house balls were pretty bad, and there
was no oil in the lane. I was right-handed. I bowled right-handed, Corey, and I can make a house ball hook across the lane.
Yeah,
nice.
We totally joined forces with this couple that was already playing bowling because all the lanes were filled. Oh God, Sergio and
I can't remember.
What was her name?
Yeah,
Ivana.
Sure. It doesn't really matter, but we joined this team.
Yeah, and they were cool. We were talking to them, and they're like, they were from New York, and they're like, oh, we wanted to go to the convention, but tickets were sold out.
That's right. You didn't have to go to the convention to go to these. This is like
it was just
thing. Yeah.
Yeah, the party, but they're pretty cool. Yeah. Shout out to them.
It's a good party.
Jim tried to show off and try to play us with his offhanded bowling.
I tried to do two-handed. I tried to do
two-handed
bowling. I threw a 57. I threw a two.
Not bad. I mean,
I threw a 57.
It wasn't too bad, no.
Even though
considering I was using my normal hand and was getting 80s.
The second game I threw my left hand a few times just to kind of throw it in there, and I can't throw a house ball with my left hand because of my finger, how bad it is right now. I can't even do that. So, if those don't know, I bowl quite often, and I have my own equipment. And it's completely different when you have to throw a house ball, which is not fingertip. So your whole finger goes in the ball, and my finger is not healed enough to throw a whole finger in a ball. I can tell you that. So, anyways.
It's gotta do the one finger thing.
I was doing, I was actually just no thumb cupping it essentially, and then throwing it down.
Yeah, that really did not work.
No, because it was hooking across the lane. So, anyways, that was the day 2 entirely. Saturday was crazy day because we talked about we already talked about that. It was very busy floor. We mostly stayed off of that and stayed on the outskirts. We did a lot of cosplay pictures for people. There was a lot of cool cosplays this year. We were outside with it for a while, and that was cool. It's the first time in a long time I took photos of people cosplaying.
Yeah,
I saw the most adorable Farah ever because I came up from this escalator and there was this I want to guesstimate 8 years old. This girl in Farah's legit regular blue outfit. I was just
cosplay for it. She did a good job. Yeah.
I was like, can I take a picture? And she nodded, but I was like, wait a second, where are your parents right now? And I looked over and I saw her parents. I was like, can I take a picture of her? Is that cool? And they're like, yeah, go ahead. And I was like, because I want to be safe.
Random dude taking a picture of a 8-year-old girl.
Yeah, exactly. So
it made Instagram though.
Yeah, it made Instagram. So I'll reshare that or somehow on our website or Facebook, something like that.
What was the cash line for that one?
Oh, I said cuteness reigns from above because seriously, just like I just want to pick her up and be like, pew pew, like just like make the noises or just like shoot holes and stuff because that's how like tiny she was. It's like, oh, like, you're so small. Yeah. There's also this really awesome. I don't know what she was exactly, but it looked like a Frozen princess.
She was an original cosplay. Like I found out later.
Oh, it was an original cosplay. Yeah. Yeah, just gorgeous detailing on the dress.
Yeah, it was. It was designed for this convention, so.
Yeah, like I took a picture of it.
I thought it was
I'm not even gonna add a filter. I thought it was Elsa too. I thought it was like a version from like the Once Upon a Time, something like that. But I guess. Yeah. But she was gorgeous. The costume was gorgeous. Both days I saw her, I think she was there Friday and Saturday.
I don't think she moved. She was just standing.
She didn't move. She was just standing there, and people just were constantly taking pictures of her. And I was like, man, this girl is dedicated because she, had like the stoic, like I don't care about anything, like Frozen type, just
face,
emotionless thing going on, and just like kept like turning her gaze. But cool shout out was when I was there on Saturday to see her. This little girl out in the crowd, asked if she could take a picture with her, and she broke character to like bend down and like take a picture with her and smile and stuff like that. So I was like, oh, that's awesome. Because like that's really being inclusive and just helping build a community. Because maybe now that a girl's gonna grow up and cosplay something else in the future and stuff like that. So
that was cool.
Something slutty.
Wow. Corey, really? Like we just talked about little girls and oh my god, dude.
I had to throw it out there. Everybody was thinking it.
No, you didn't have to. You didn't have to at all.
Anyways, I think that's it for Comic-Con, right? Anything else?
That's it for everything. We're done.
No, we gotta talk about Corey. Have you played anything? Oh, we've played some other things though too. Like we were waiting online, but go ahead.
I was going to ask you guys about your Switch.
Well, I did Mario Rabbids. I played a little more of that, and I started Stardew Valley after downloading it forever.
Oh God, it took so long.
And then when I got into the game,
hold on, we got to shit talk the Pennsylvania Hotel Pennsylvania again.
Yeah,
because they gave us free Wi-Fi. I don't know, maybe it was included in the price of the room deal or whatever like that. Yeah, but it was so. What?
I was gonna say you probably got more speed on the 56K modem.
It was so bad.
I disagree, guys. For a hotel Wi-Fi, that was good. I was able to watch YouTube videos with no problem.
I could not download that game. I had to bring it out to the convention hall, and I actually connected to the convention center, and that, on occasion, was quick. And that's a convention center. So I got to play Stardew Valley, and I was overwhelmed. I played one day in Stardew Valley. I have no idea what I'm doing.
Yeah. I tried playing it like while we were waiting in line the next day, but it was one of those things where I didn't know what I was doing. It felt like the first day in Minecraft all over again, where it's just like you don't know what you can do almost anything.
Yep.
And I was just like, I need to really concentrate on this and be like in the zone because like being in a convention center noisy, like I was just like I can't concentrate on this.
Yeah,
so that's one of those games.
Later
that
on when you're into
lends itself more to at home, right?
No, but like when you're set up later on, I can see it being something on the go. Like you can be like, oh, let me pop in and make this quick. You know exactly what you have to do. But when you're discovering what the game is, that's not something to do on the go. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, like once you've gotten into the process, because like Minecraft, I could play like without any sound or anything right now. I could just do it. But learning it, no. I definitely needed.
I brought my battery with me, and I ended up not needing it for my Switch because we didn't play it that much. We weren't waiting online at all. I thought we would be waiting on lines more, so I didn't get to play it too much. Mike ended up using my battery for his phone to keep it alive because your phone is terrible. Worst battery I've ever seen. He would unplug it and use it one time, and it would drop 15%.
I also learned from your Switch that you're really bad at Sonic games.
Oh, yeah. Yep. He watched me play Sonic and me get bounced back and forth like 8 times.
He can't beat the second level of Sonic Mania. I'm
terrible at Sonic. I lost in Mario Rabbids now. I'm actually losing. I still lost at home. I went home and played it, and I still lost that battle. So I'm just not going to play that game right now. There's nothing like depth about the game. I need to keep playing it at the moment, so I'm going to put it on the back. I'm just going to go back to Nier or Cuphead. So I played a little more Cuphead. But the big thing I played was my SNES Classic.
Woo!
Finally got it. It's here. It exists. On my floor right now is a controller. It's like a Super Nintendo controller sitting on my floor in a wire with a wire coming. It was so weird to plug that in. And I had to sit so close because again, that wire's not long enough. But I got to play a little bit of the SNES Classic. I got to play Star Fox. I'm mostly through Star Fox 1 already. That's pretty. I thought that game was harder. I remember that game being a lot harder. I'm like rolling through that game. And then I played Punch Out, which I still don't remember how to play. So yeah, that one is harder. and a Street Fighter. I play Street Fighter 2 Turbo Edition. So, which is still very slow. So like I maxed the turbo out, and I'm like, man, I remember when I thought this was fast, and I'm like, it's still so slow. And no air block. There's no air block.
Well.
So it's cool though. I finally got the system. It exists. It's real, folks. That's my big thing for the week for me. But besides Comic-Con.
Supposedly this week, listeners, restocks of SNES Classics are going out to some retailers. I think Target BrickSeek inventory trackers are showing some Targets throughout the country, getting them in. I think Geek had advertised that tomorrow, Wednesday, they are going to have some more in stock. So, yeah, I mean, it already looks better than the NES Classic situation. So.
Yep.
Yeah. Anything else with the 3? Mike, did you play anything when you got back?
No.
Okay. Tony?
Stardew Valley a little bit, which is fun. Definitely can't wait to really dive into that one. The other game I forgot to mention I was playing last week was I downloaded P-Cross S on the Nintendo Switch, which is a puzzle game. It's kind of like Sudoku, but with pixel blocks, where you can like make the blocks that you fill in form a pixelated picture of an item like a baseball or a pumpkin or something like that. So that game is really fun for a puzzle if you're into like that kind of stuff. I think it's like $7.99. There's like 300 puzzles, so it's crazy ridiculous, and it's kind of frustrating because I'm really like not as experienced as most players are with the game, because like people that typically like this game will get all the different versions and like they're pros at this, and I'm just like in the early levels, and I'm just like, yep, it takes me 10 minutes to do this level, because there's a lot of like tricks and tips and strategies and stuff, but each time I play it I'm like, I see what they want you to do now. So that's pretty fun. I would definitely recommend that game for just the time killer and stuff.
Cool.
Yeah, and price is good too.
Oh yeah, price is good. $7.99, can't beat that.
Yeah. All right, Corey, what'd you play?
Played Stardew Valley.
Nice.
I got to day 12, I think.
Ooh, damn.
Maybe. So I don't know how much, like 20, 30 minutes per day. Not even. Maybe 15 minutes a day.
Yeah.
So I'm getting, getting into it. It's good. It's definitely what I expected it to be. So just a nice, relaxing type of game, which is funny because at first, like you guys were saying, you have no idea what's going on. You have no idea what to do. You're like, oh no, am I gonna screw something up? Am I gonna be screwed for later? But then I was like, all right, I'm not gonna like try to min-max shit. I'm not gonna do any of that crap. I'm just gonna let things be and just like relax and enjoy this game. So I was like, all right, that's all that I'm gonna do. And then, so that made it much more enjoyable, because after that, like, after not having to like think about what's gonna happen if I don't do certain things in certain times and maximize my energy usage and shit like that, I was like, okay, it's much better.
Good. Okay,
so just enjoying it. Yeah, I mean, just if you can just like not think about like repercussions of what things are gonna have.
I feel like I'm missing things if I stay on my farm.
Well, you get like little envelopes and stuff, like with quests for people, and like there's a little town board. So I watch TV every day, do my farming, and by 9 o'clock I go into town, pick up seeds, come back, plant the seeds, water them.
Oh, you have to water the seeds?
I mean, it's farming, Jim.
Yeah. I thought it would rain or something at some point.
That's the TV tells you. The TV is going to tell you what the weather is.
Yes.
And then when you meet people, like they do have a quest for you to meet everyone in town. So once you meet everybody in town, you get some money to help you buy more seeds. But I prioritize the inventory. I'm like, the first thing I'm buying, I'm saving all my money just to get another backpack, because like that first slot you're like so screwed. And the UI is definitely not catered for a controller. I'd say it's much more suited for PC, mouse, keyboard. And so having that really was confusing at first, because like you fill up your inventory and you're like, how do I like drop something? I just want to drop this. And you can't. So it's like really kind of frustrating to learn that stuff at first. But once you get the idea of the different menus and how everything works, it becomes much easier to relax and just enjoy, what you're doing and having fun on the farm.
Cool.
So clearing out the trees, clearing out the overgrown grass, and clearing out the rocks. But I found that the mining is really good to get some good like ore and crystals you can sell and stuff without, because like it's much more instantaneous than planting the seeds and waiting for that shit to grow.
Okay.
So I need more space in my inventory. So that's what I've been prioritizing right now. Just give me my inventory. So, but yeah, that's been good. And obviously played Destiny. Did the raid. It was like we did the raid one day, and we like did in 2 hours. It was awesome. It was amazing. Perfect, like one shot. Like everybody knew what they're doing. It was like really well done, coordinated. And then the other day I played it with the people in our clan. So like my friend Happel, Frank, his brother, another former Applebee's guy, and Mike, your cousin.
Oh, okay.
And just a couple of guys just really didn't know what was going on, and so it was kind of frustrating at first. But we got through the beginning, but then we got to the final boss, and shit was just like going weird. Like things were just like not like they did not want us to finish. It was so weird. And then we find out the one guy's like screwing up the whole time. It's like, guys, I didn't know. You didn't tell me. Like we were saying this, explaining the exact thing that you needed to do, and then you go off and do the exact opposite.
I heard that the idea is exactly the same from the first game. There's no new ideas in terms of combat-wise, right? There's like pick up the ball, slam on this platform, stand on this platform, right? So did he play Destiny 1, that guy?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, mechanically, it's all different, but like there are certain elements that are similar. Sure, like shooting and doing standing on things. Yes, but as far as how you do that and what you're doing, it's a lot different. And I mean, they always change the encounters, so it's not like if you knew what you're doing in one raid, you know what to do in the next raid. They give you hints, and like a lot of the strikes kind of hint at what type of mechanics you'll be using. But as far as what you actually have to do in the raid, I wouldn't say it's the same at all. It's similar, but yeah, it's definitely things that mechanically just make sense and are there. But I don't know. I wouldn't say that's necessarily true, but not untrue. I don't know. It's hard to say. You just have to play. I wouldn't go in saying, I won the raid, I can do this raid, no problem. I think you have to play it. I mean, it's different.
Yeah. All right. Anything else?
Well, I'll never be able to play raids because I have no friends on the system.
Yeah. You can get a cheap Xbox One at some point and play it.
There's the guided games thing they're doing, which is kind of like a somewhat similar matchmaking thing, but I haven't done that yet, so I can't speak to it.
Yeah. All right. Anything else, Corey, or that's it?
No, I mean, but mostly those are the two highlights.
Okay. All right. I think that's going to wrap up episode 365. I don't think there's anything else to add. So thanks for tuning in. Next week we'll do our Halloween stuff. Tune in next week for the movie cast and the games cast, where we'll have some movies and games to play for the Halloween season.
Yeah.
And thanks for listening. Write us podcast at allycangeek.net. Follow us on Twitter at allycangeek. Like us on Facebook, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Thanks for listening. Zombear.
Oh.